What if I told you that you have spent your entire life looking for something that was never missing? You've been searching for it in compliments, in relationships, in achievements, in the way your body looks in the mirror. But no matter how much you got, it was never quite enough. That hole in your heart was never healed. I know because I did the same thing for years. And it wasn't until I stopped looking outside myself that I finally found what I'd been searching for all along. Today we're going to talk about self-love, not the bubble bath, treat yourself version, the real kind of loving yourself, the kind that actually changes how you walk into a room, how you talk to yourself at 2 a.m., and how you recover even when life tries to break you apart. We are going to go through what self-love actually is, the crucial difference between self-love and self-care, why it's so hard to access, and then I will close with 5 real practices you can start doing today. Hi everyone, I'm Yang. I help you quiet your overthinking, find your inner peace, trust your intuition to align within, and expand beyond what you thought possible. For a very long time, I thought self-love was impossible because I genuinely did not like myself. It wasn't just I wish I could be a little more confident kind of way. I meant I looked in the mirror and I did not like the person looking back at me. In fact, I would avoid looking mirrors on the street because of how much I don't like myself. And when I heard people talk about loving themselves, I didn't believe them. I thought, you're either faking it or you're a narcissist. Loving yourself to me looks like completely fictional. It seemed like something people performed for social media, not something real humans actually felt. People who think they love themselves, but it is just because they actually think they're above everyone else. They're arrogant and selfish and only care about themselves. But I couldn't be more ignorant and far from the truth. Until I learned what self-love actually is, I was trying to bring people down with me because I never felt what they felt for themselves. I never felt the love, and I was actually the selfish one. And now with consistent practice, I look myself in the mirror every day and I genuinely cannot stop loving myself. Not because my life became perfect, but because now I understand more about myself, in how I talk to myself, how I show up for myself, and love myself for just who I am, no matter how imperfect I am. Let's start by getting clear on what self-love actually is. Self-love is not arrogance, it's not narcissism, it's not thinking you are better than everyone else or being blind to your flaws. And I know that a lot of us have this fear that if we started loving ourselves too much, we'd become self-absorbed. We would stop caring about other people, we would lose some kind of edge. But that's actually the opposite. When you love yourself, you see yourself with warmth and kindness. It will improve your self-esteem, motivation, determination. It makes you kinder, more patient, and more generous. When you judge yourself and feel yourself negatively, it leads to anxiety and mood disorders. When we love ourselves, we can extend that love to others. When we hate ourselves, we spread the hate to other things around us. When you love yourself, it doesn't mean you don't love others. They are not mutually exclusive. Love will only bring more love. Self-love is, I matter, but other people matter too. I respect myself and I respect other people too. People who love themselves feel secure about themselves. They feel happy when they see other people succeed because they know their worth and nothing can take it away. On the contrary, narcissists are insecure, so they always have to look down on other people to make themselves feel more important. It is a fixed sense of self-love, and I can say that they never really know what love is, because if they are not special and admired, they would feel worthless. And self-love is the opposite. It is to love yourself so much that no one else in this world could make you feel worthless. You don't need any validation from other people to love yourself, because you have more to give other people instead. Your confidence makes space for other people. It doesn't need others to be smaller to love yourself. It doesn't make you think you're better than other people. It simply reminds you that you are no less than everyone else. We think about our relationship with people around us all the time. But how many of us actually think about the relationship we have with ourselves? You are the only person who is gonna be with you your whole life. Why don't you put attention and care and nurture the relationship you have with yourself? It is actually the foundation of all relationships. When you feel peaceful with yourself, you can extend that to everyone else around you. The outer relationship is a reflection of the inner relationship. Like any relationship, it has to be built. Most of the time, it doesn't just born with you. It requires time, attention, honesty, and a lot of forgiveness. Think about your closest friendship. You didn't become close to that person overnight. You showed up for each other, you went through things together, you saw each other clearly, the good parts and the messy parts. And you chose each other anyway. The more time you spend with them, the more deeply you knew them. It is exactly the same with yourself. The more time you spend actually getting to know yourself, not running away from yourself, not numbing out, not outsourcing your worth to other people's opinions, the closer you become to yourself. Before we move on, I want to talk about how self-care is different from self-love. A lot of people think self-care equals self-love, but it is just a part of it. Self-care is what you do for yourself. Self-love is what you are to yourself. Self-care is the bath, the journaling, the workout, the nourishing meal, the relaxing day, and those things are important. They matter. They are expressions of care. But here is the problem. You can do all of those things and still don't like yourself in the mirror. You can get a massage and still go home and spend an hour replaying every embarrassing thing you've said in the last 5 years. You can journal every morning and still feel that you are not enough in some way. Because self-care touches the surface, self-love goes to the root. Self-love is about the voice inside your head when nobody is watching. It's about what you believe you deserve at the deepest level. It's about whether you feel like a person who is worthy of love. Not because of what you accomplished, not because of how you look, not because of what other people think of you, but simply because you exist. Imagine a baby or a pet. They haven't done anything yet. They haven't achieved anything. They haven't proven their worth in any way. And yet we look at them and the love is just there, unconditionally. They are worthy simply because they're here. That is the love we are talking about to ourselves. Not loving yourself when you have to earn or perform. Love that is already true. Self-care helps you feel good. Self-love helps you believe you deserve to. And it is not easy because it takes a lot of inner work, which brings us to why this is so hard, because you are not alone. If self-love is the relationship we have with ourselves, why is it so hard to actually access? I think it comes down to two things. First, we have been conditioned from a very young age to look outside ourselves for our worth. We live in a world that profits from you feeling not enough. Because if you felt complete and whole exactly as you are, you wouldn't buy things to fix yourself. You wouldn't chase validation. You wouldn't exhaust yourself trying to fit into someone else's version of who you should be. The entire advertising industry is built on making sure you never feel quite enough. And beyond that, from childhood, most of us absorbed the lesson that love was conditional, that we had to earn it, that it could be taken away if we weren't good enough, impressive enough, agreeable enough, that we had to try and try and try, or else no one will love us. So we start people pleasing, comparing, looking in the mirror and seeing a lot of problems instead of a person. We thought being harsh and judge ourselves could make us better. But what it did was the exact opposite. You don't like yourself, so keep trying to improve yourself, thinking it could make you love yourself. But no amount of change could do that, because you are working it backwards. It doesn't protect you. It doesn't make you feel better. It just keeps you small. The second reason is hard. We confuse punishment with motivation. We think that being hard on ourselves is what drives us to improve. We think if we are too kind to ourselves, we will lose our edge and become complacent. But the research is very clear. Self-compassion, not self-criticism, is what leads to real, lasting growth. When you shame yourself for a mistake, your nervous system enters the stress response. Cortisol spikes, your thinking narrows. You literally cannot access creativity, perspective, or wisdom from that contracted state. And when you meet yourself with kindness, your nervous system settles. You can think clearly. You can make better choices. You can move forward. Love does something that punishment simply never can. So what do we actually do with all of this? Which brings us to the second part of this video. I'm going to walk you through 5 practices. These are not things you do once and check off a list. They are how to build a relationship you have with yourself over time. Practice 1. Change how you talk to yourself. It is the foundation, and that is harder than it sounds. Most of us has an inner critic that is relentless. It says things we would never say to someone we love. It replays our worst moments. It compares us. It judges us. And it is running almost constantly in the background. Here's the most important thing to understand. That voice is not you. You have negative thoughts and just like everyone else, but they're not you. Your thoughts are not you. You don't have to identify with it. It is something you absorbed from childhood, from experiences, from a culture that profits from your insecurity. And just like it was learned, it can be unlearned too. Start by noticing it. What does that voice sound like? When does it get loudest? Acknowledge that it is here, and then ignore it. When it shows up with something unkind, you can simply say, I hear you, thank you for protecting me, but we're not doing that today. And then replace it, not with fake positivity you don't believe, but with something true and kind, something you would say to a friend who was going through a hard time. Because the one thing that saved me from self-hatred and depressive time was self-compassion. learning to be kind to yourself. Would you ever speak to someone you love the way you speak to yourself? If the answer is no, I'm here to tell you to stop doing that to yourself, and you get to be the one who changes it. And practice to understand where it comes from. Ask yourself, where did these beliefs about myself actually come from? Why do I feel like I'm not enough? Not to stay stuck in the past, but because you cannot release something you haven't understood. A baby is not born hating themselves. A child is not born with shame. Those things are learned, layer by layer, through environment and experience. So you go back with curiosity, not judging those younger parts of yourself, and you say to your inner child, I understand why you believe that. I understand why you needed that belief to protect yourself. But I'm here now. We don't have to carry it anymore. This might look like journaling or therapy, just sitting quietly and asking yourself honestly, why do I feel this way? Where did that start? And I'm gonna tell you, it is not comfortable work, but it is the only work that could save you. The parts of you that you've been avoiding are not your flaws. They are asking to be seen. But when you finally see them, something opens up that has been closed for a very long time. And practice 3, forgive yourself, forgive others. Forgiveness is not saying that what happened was okay. It's not forgetting. Forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could have been any different than it was. You cannot change what happened. You can only decide whether you want to keep carrying it. When you hold on to resentment towards someone who hurt you or toward yourself for your own mistakes, you are the one holding the weight. The other person has moved on. You are the one still suffering. Not being able to forgive is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to feel it. And it applies to yourself too. Beating yourself up over old mistakes doesn't undo them. It just keeps you anchored in the version of yourself you're trying to grow beyond. The person who made those mistakes was doing the best they could with what they knew at the time. The old you made those mistakes was doing the best you could with what you knew at the time. So try this. Write a forgiveness letter to yourself. Tell yourself, I forgive you for not knowing what you know now. Write freely. You don't have to show it to anyone. You can keep it, burn it, tear it up. Just write it. Because that act alone will start to shift your mind and bring more kindness to yourself. And practice 4, set boundaries as an act of self-love. I used to think boundaries were about keeping people out. But actually, boundaries are how you keep yourself in. They are how you protect your own peace, your own energy, your own sense of self. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you send yourself a quiet message. Other people's comfort matters more than mine. Every time you abandon what you actually need in order to keep the peace, you teach yourself that you're not worth protecting. Setting a boundary is not mean. It is not cold. It is you saying, I matter too. Research shows that people who maintain healthy boundaries experience better self-esteem, low stress, strong relationships. Because the relationships that survive your honesty, those are the real ones. You put yourself first, and those who understand are really the ones who deserve your love and attention. If they don't respect your boundaries, why would they worth your energy and presence anyway? At the end of the day, ask yourself one question. What did I say yes to today that I actually wish I hadn't? Journal it out. You don't have to change everything all at once. Maybe just one small thing each time. Like saying no to a party you don't want to go. It was hard to do it at first, but each step will bring you more power. Each small boundaries will make you respect yourself more. Each no will make you know what does loving yourself mean a little more. In the final practice, accept the season you're in. There are seasons in life where you feel on fire, clear, motivated, expanding, and there are seasons when you feel slow, foggy, stuck. And most of us treat those slower seasons like something has gone terribly wrong, like we're falling behind, like we're failing in life. But those quiet, uncomfortable seasons, they are a part of the process. They are where roots grow deepest. And honestly, I'm in this season right now. Nothing looks like it's working for me. But that's precisely a good season for me to learn to be resilient, to learn to be faithful, to learn to trust myself and the universe. I'm learning to appreciate this season because I know I'm building the foundation, even though I cannot see anything on the outside yet. And I know it's hard to see progress when you're in it. Only over time, you will find out how long have you come. Self-love means not fighting where you are. It means giving yourself grace even when your life looks nothing like you imagined. It means trusting that even the seasons that feel like stillness are still preparing you for what's coming next. You are not behind. You're not broken. You're just becoming. So say this to yourself when things feel slow. I'm learning self-love. This chapter is part of my growth. I don't need to rush it. I just need to honor it. Write it down. Put it on your mirror. Let it be the thing you come back to when comparison and self-doubt gets loud. And honestly, it is actually the perfect time to practice because it is precisely the essence of self-love, to love yourself unconditionally, despite your flaws, despite the failures you're feeling right now. Because you're never a failure, you're just learning the lessons for you. And remember, this journey is not linear. Some days you will feel like you love yourself so completely that nothing could touch you. Other days, an old pattern could surface and it feels like you're starting it all over. This is just how it works. What matters is that you keep showing up for yourself again and again and again. And lastly, self-love is not something you earn. It is not something you arrive at once you've fixed all your flaws or reached all your goals or figured everything out. You were worthy the moment you were born, before you accomplished anything, before anyone told you so, before you had any idea how to be a person in this world. Just like the baby, you were actually enough simply because you were here. I want you to hear this from someone who once looked in the mirror and genuinely could not find anything to love. It is possible. Not just possible, it is available to you right now, exactly as you are. It will take some time. It will take some patience with yourself. It will take returning to these practices even when it feels uncomfortable, even when the old voice gets louder, even when you feel like you're going backward. Self-love is not a switch you flip. It is not a destination you arrive at one day and then you're done. It is the accumulated result of how you show up for yourself consistently every single day. But what's waiting on the other side of the work is a relationship with yourself that nothing and nobody can take it away. A love that doesn't depend on how you look, what you achieve, or whether someone else shows up for you. A love that is just yours. With so much love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.